India is marking a historic moment in their space program today. The country made its first landing on the moon.
People are applauding. Let us all
That is the scene from Mission Control as the Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft made its successful landing near the lunar South Pole. It comes just days after a Russian spacecraft crashed on the moon. The landing on the southern pole is a new frontier for Earth's celestial body. It's thought to contain water and ice that could support a future moon settlement. And CBC's India correspondent Salima Shivji is in Mumbai with the latest here. Quite a moment, Salima, a historic landing for India. What more can you tell us?
Well, look, there was a lot of nervous anticipation and excitement ahead of Chandrayaan-3's descent towards the moon's surface. And really, a lot of people were watching across India, praying for this to go well, sending well wishes to the moon mission, and a lot of nerves in that mission control for India's space agency as well. But really, that success, translated to the ground. There were a lot of cheers when people were watching, and a lot of people were watching. Millions and millions of Indians were watching this because they do take a lot of pride in their space program, and that successful landing really did make a splash across the country, since there has been really nonstop coverage about this Chandrayaan-3 mission. It's been a very big deal here, and so this feels like a big deal, not just for the country, but of course for science. As you mentioned, this is the first country to make it to the moon's south pole. It is a big deal scientifically because scientists do believe that the shadowed craters in that southern rugged region of the moon contain frozen water, and that is a big deal for a potential future moon settlement, a place where astronauts can stay and explore further missions deep into space. So it is a big deal for the scientific community globally, but it is of course a very big deal for India's reputation. This really shows the country and the world that this country has the technological prowess and the know-how to make it to space. And Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, did speak about that. He was watching the live stream of this moon mission, those 15 minutes of anticipation from South Africa, where he is for the BRICS summit. And here is what he had to say. He says it's actually not just a win for India. This is for everybody. Take a listen.
Our moon mission is also based on the same human-centric approach. Therefore, this success belongs to all of humanity, and it will help moon missions by other countries in the future.
Now, this is a clear political message from Modi that this is a win for all countries and that India is willing to work with all countries on this, whereas some fear that China, which is also exploring space exploration, would not do so. So a pointed message from Modi right there.
So going off of those comments, what does this mean for the future of India's space program?
Well, it is a big boost. As I mentioned, it's a big boost for India's reputation, that they have the technological know-how, that they had the dedication to continue, because their first attempt to make it to the moon's south pole did fail, actually, 4 years ago when their lander crashed into the moon's surface. So it's a big deal for India, and it also means a big boost economically, a lot of economic benefits for India's private space sector, which has exploded over the last few years. There were only 5 space tech startups at the beginning of the pandemic here in India. Now there are at least 140, and that number just keeps growing. Here's an expert on really what this means economically for the country.
So these vendors who are supporting this sort of a mission will be sought after by every other country that wants to go to the moon and to do similar things, right? And the number of investors that are looking at Indian companies to invest in space, their interest is also going to peak.
He thinks this will also serve as a major inspiration for the younger generation, for students to actually try to pursue science, to explore a career in space. And that means this investment is definitely worth it, according to a lot of the experts here.
Thanks for this, Salima. That is the CBC's Salima Shivji in Mumbai.